time to start, and so is Vice President of Education, who fills in when the President is not yet here. Let me go ahead and call us to order, and let's ask Jim to lead us in the.
Would you stand, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you very much. So in the area of announcements, the first announcement that we have is that dues are due. Today is the last day that we meet in the current dues, and the next time we meet, we're into the new semi-annual time. And so Alan needs $40 from all who have not yet had the opportunity to do that. Are there any other announcements? Did I handle that one okay?
You did wonderfully.
Did just right. Okay. Any other announcements? So maybe the other thing we need to know is that the next contest is this Saturday, 2 o'clock at Eagles and Miles City. 2 o'clock, Eagles, Miles City this Saturday for those who go on to compete. And so I am curious, as I will let Linda Wolf, our new area governor, know the results of this by email later today. How many people are going to go to Miles City and help with the contest? Who's planning on going to Miles City? At least Jim is, okay? And I can check with the others after they arrive. Any other announcements?
I was going to say, do they need a timer down there? Do they need a timer in Miles City?
Can't say that.
There won't be a timer?
Oh, there will, yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, they might need someone.
they might need
They
someone.
might, yeah.
Yeah, now I say, now this area governor that took over in Miles City, is she taking over your last position?
Yes.
Well, you know, I have another question for Jim. Well, then, or did you step up to district governor? Oh, okay, okay.
Good question.
Yeah.
So you can only serve area governor 2 consecutive years, just like you can only be president 1 year. So Jim has served us well, and most of us have agreed we were spoiled during his tutelage, so thank you.
My job.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. Yeah. So in any case, any other announcements before we go ahead? And I introduce myself as contest chair. That's also my job, and it's Peggy's job to go ahead and be the chief judge. So one of the things that we need to know is that right now we've got 2 people competing in table topics. Both David and Rochelle volunteered to be judges, and neither are here. Mark is going to go ahead and be timer, and who's going to count with you? Virginia can help with that. She'll be back. Can you help count, Virginia? Well, we need someone to count.
We need more than one person to count the ballots.
Count the ballot. So if you and Peggy can do that, that'd be great. So without further ado, and somewhat going a little bit where we're going to need to loop back and give Peggy a minute with her judges to get them organized, at this point in time, I should go ahead and say that right now, Alan and Jim are our table topic contestants, and we'll have to give anyone who shows up late that wants to participate, if we decide as a club to allow that. We'll have to have them come after them. So let's get them to announce what number they drew so we can see who's actually first and second.
I got number 4.
All right.
So Alan will be first in the table topic. So those who are keeping time should mark him as the first speaker and Jim as the second on that. So then, without any further ado, I should introduce Peggy Iba, who for the first time is being the chief judge. And here comes one of our judges right now to help her out. So let's give them a minute to go ahead and get oriented, and I'll do a little bit of what Peggy would have said so that we're all clear on this, and that is that we have table topics and contestants. I'm going to brief you right now. You must speak for 1 minute. If you end before the green light goes on, you're disqualified. You must stop after the red light has been on for 30 seconds. If you go over 2 minutes and 30 seconds, stick a fork in you, you're done. Okay? If, when I ask if there's any disqualifications, I am told by the judge that there is. If you've got a question, you need to get together with the judge immediately before the winners are announced. Once the winners are announced, stick a fork in them, they're done. Okay? So Mark will be turning the lights on. The green one will go on at 1, the yellow one at 1.5, and then he can turn off the green one if he wishes. And then the red one comes on at 2, and he can turn off the yellow one if he wishes, but the red one must remain on until you are done speaking. The first dramatic gesture that you make or word that you utter will be when he hits the stopwatch. That's when your time will begin. Your first word, or if you do some kind of a flourish or something like that, he's going to hit the stopwatch and turn it on. When you, I wish I could say this in Spanish or something more elegant, but when you shut your mouth and step away from the lectern, he will hit the button again, and that's how we will know you are done. Okay, so yes, Mark.
I was just wondering now, is this going to be a speech contest or a table topic
This is
contest?
the table topic. Yeah.
Table topic
Table
contest.
topic, right. 1 minute, 1.5, 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are your lights. Table topic contest only. Yeah,
I got you.
I heard you earlier say that you lucked out on this, and so I'm glad for your enthusiasm for being our timer. So 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes. Okay, I guess while I'm on a roll here, I'll just keep going with some of what Becky was going to tell you, and that is after each contestant, Mark will then go ahead and time another minute. So when you step away from the lectern, when you're done, and Mark's got your time written down, then he's going to give the judges a minute to go ahead and complete their ballots, and he'll turn on the green light when that minute is up. So that's kind of new for the timer job for him and for us, but he's going to give us a minute, and during that time we want what kind of silence? Absolute silence, so that judges can really cook their little brains with doing these, because they've got to do a lot of math during that minute. Okay, and so then as we have right now 2 people who are competing, what will happen is I'll go ahead and present the topic to Alan after Virginia has taken Jim on a long walk. And then she'll be checking with me to make sure it's okay for him to be in hearing distance of us during that minute of silence. We'll go ahead and bring Alan in for his turn to enjoy the table topic as well. Peggy, did I leave anything out? Would you like to come up and say some things? You're more than welcome to do that. Won't you welcome our Chief Judge?
I just wanted to clarify one thing, that 1 minute counting of complete silence doesn't start until we're done clapping vigorously for the speakers. So,
Thank you, Peggy. Yeah, very good. Excellent. So I think we're about ready to begin.
there.
We are all, and that about is now complete. So we should begin until the judges are all ready to go ahead and thoroughly scrutinize the contestants. But it would be a good time for Jim and Virginia to figure out where they're going to go.
They're going to
during
leave the
during
room.
this contest. And then for me to know where to find them during that minute of silence.
Say,
Wait just a moment.
Okay.
No, it's not locked.
do you know what your job's gonna be, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
What job is that? Yeah, I was asking, what is your job? Oh, okay.
So Mark, what's your question, sir?
I just was wondering what, Rochelle, what's her job?
They're judges. David and Rochelle are judges. Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll just have the two speakers. Good
Yeah,
question.
and then,
How this differs from a regular one, we all kind of judge and vote, but when it's a contest, we have official judges.
Excellent.
and the judges are given 1 minute to decide,
They have 1 minute to mark their ballots.
to mark their ballots.
And the judges need to know that they need to sign their ballot or it's invalid. So down at the bottom, when you're all done, remember to sign it or the counters won't be able to use it.
So I should write their names down here too then?
Not at all,
No.
not at all.
Okay.
Yep, just Alan
Yes.
and then Jim. Yeah, because they're not gonna give a speech. They're just gonna turn in a ballot to Peggy and to Virginia.
But I should time the 1 minute.
Yeah, do time the 1 minute,
Okay.
yeah. So that we know that we shouldn't be talking even the judge or the contest chair till that green light comes on. I've just given the judges a minute to read their ballots so they're prepared for the speakers. Mark, you need to know I'm gonna be your backup timer while these guys
Okay.
are working also.
All right.
Just so you know. Does everyone feel relatively ready to begin? Peggy? Okay, judges? Mark? And
Yeah, I, now, when Dave and Rochelle make their decision, do they make it at the same time? So, but for both of them, well, they each, combined, they have 1 minute.
so they don't speak at all. They are
Okay,
silent.
the question is, do they have a minute apiece?
No, a minute for both.
A minute for both?
Just, you all have to be quiet for that 1 minute.
Yeah, cool as a
Yes.
cucumber.
Then I'm going to collect their ballots. We'll count them outside of the.
All right.
So they just mark their ballots before we get to the next contestant. Okay, so now are we ready to roll? Is Alan ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, good. Come on up, Alan. Alan Rubes, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Rubes. Wait, go ahead, you may clap for me as you wish. Alan, the 1971 hit song Anticipation by Carly Simon ended by repeating, "These are the good old days," 7 times, as she instructed us to stay right here because these are the good old days. Why should we stay, and why are these the good old days?
in times like these, a lot of people can be down on the present administration, the President of our United States, Barack Obama. And some people I've heard have been critical of the way he treats the armed forces people. And I kind of researched that a little bit, and he wasn't saluting the officers correctly, and from what I understand, he's a private citizen, and so he is not legally able to salute an officer because he is a private citizen. And a lot of people have been critical of Mr. Obama over that and other things that he has encountered in his presidency. Being the President of the United States is probably the toughest job that there will ever be. And the presidency is like a lightning rod for people who are critical of the way that things are being handled. But all in all, we still live in the best country in the world. We are free to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, right to bear arms, and we are a democratic society, and we have little to no fear of any terrorism within the United States border. And so, although there are times when we can get down on ourselves, the United States and this time is probably the best times of our life, and we should not be so quick to judge the President of the United States.
Thank you very much, Alan. Mark will now time 1 minute of silence for the judges. Are the judges ready? Is the contestant ready?
Yes.
All right. Jim Squires, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Squires. Jim, the 1971 hit song Anticipation by Carly Simon ended by repeating, "These are the good old days" 7 times, as she instructed us to stay right here because these are the good old days. Why should we stay, and why are these the good old days?
Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, fellow competitor judges, where's your focus? Is your focus on yesterday, as is suggested here, or is your focus on today, or perhaps even the future, what you're hoping and anticipating and aspiring to? This is as good as today. Stay right here. Live in the moment. To me, this is good advice. People, I've been around people who wish their lives away. Honestly, there's not a lot of substance there. You live in anticipation of something that can be good, but you do your preparation today. You live today, enjoying today. Tomorrow is going to be another day. Shouldn't be worrying about it. And shouldn't be just spending and wasting your time reflecting on how good it's going to be when. I remember hearing this song. Those are the good old days. Reminiscing can be good, but reminiscing can be one of the most boring things around if you've heard those stories 25 times. Where's your focus? Put it on today.
Thank you, Jim. We'll then have 1 minute of silence for the judges to complete their ballots. So Peggy and Virginia need the timer reports as well as the ballots. I gave Peggy the second timer report, and then she'll need Mark's. And they're gonna go ahead and find a quiet table out in the hall and work on tabulating the ballots. And when they return, I'll ask if there are any disqualifications.
You want me to come with you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I initialed that. I made a mistake on there, but I straightened it up. I initialed it. So, okay.
Thank you. So it's our pleasure for me now to interview the contestants. Now, I want you to know that since I've moved to Glendive, I have recorded and still have on my hard drive every interview that Dorothy has done for Let's Talk About It. So we can expect these interviews of the contestants to be challenging. And because Alan was first, he's my first interview. So come on up, Alan. Alan, among your notable accomplishments, you list that you have married your best friend. How do you figure that?
It's sometimes you know that there's someone out there for you. You just don't know where that person is or if that person will ever show its face. And
Hey, Jim, do I got this?
It's just, it's almost like a miracle, so to speak, for a eastern Montana wheat farmer to meet up with a Denver lady who had never actually even been on a wheat farm, I don't think. And through the good times and through the not so good times, we've learned that we have to kind of give each other some of their space sometimes, and know when to kind of back off and let the other person kind of have his or her say. I remember we were wallpapering our house out in the country, and it was our first wallpapering job together. And Andrew was putting on the wallpaper, and she'd done it quite a few times. I made the mistake of saying, "Are you sure this is going to work?" And we'd been married maybe 3 months. And I was done with the post when it comes to marriage, because, well, I've never been married. But it's amazing. She gave me that look, and it was like, back off, and I better go out into the shop and get something done, because if I pursue this any further, it's going to be a bad situation. So it's just being with the one that was meant for you, and how it came about, and the life that we've had together, and the birth of our daughter. I mean, I can tell Amber anything, and I do. And it's just something that, if you've never been married, or you probably can't relate, David. You probably can't relate to this, but when you find that special woman and you marry her, and you become soulmates and your best friend, it's a lot of give and take, but most of the time it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, clearly Alan doesn't believe in that old country song, the bad one, that says, I want you, I need you, but I don't love you, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So well done, sir. Jim, you went on a Peace Corps mission for community development. Under your notable accomplishments, you list a lot of community involvement. How come?
Mr. Interviewer, contest chair. It was the right thing to do. I'm not on a clock this time. My family had never had a history of community involvement. I had an aunt, Ruth Waters, had a style shop down on Main Street, sold women's clothing, later sold out to Ruth Luke. It was called Ruth's, and now it's on the corner where Kearney Insurance is located. That was the building. She was very opinionated. I remember, I grew up in a Lutheran church, and my aunt would, on rare occasions, come and visit. And they have every spring they have a confirmation class. Kids are confirmed. And my mother and my aunt and my dad are all seated somewhere in the audience. And my aunt, I was told, turned to my mother and said, Jim would make a good governor of the state of Montana someday. That is close to any kind of an aspiration as ever uttered in the Squires family. We definitely were an apolitical group. I think equally divided between Democrats and Republicans, unfortunately. But it's No, I forgot the question.
Thank
I'm
you,
done
Jim.
talking.
Thank you, Jim. That's because you answered it the first 3 words. That was the right thing to do. Okay, Peggy's still working. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask David to go ahead and do kind of a table topic thing for us. And I'm gonna ask Peggy to give the table topic because she's got one prepared.
Okay. Facebook and social media is the thing of the day. What are some opportunities and threats of social media?
Fellow Toastmasters, I do have an opinion on this because not so long ago, I closed my Facebook account and haven't missed it at all. I think one of the biggest threats, and this also ties in with why I got off it, is you're always comparing what's going on in your life with the highlights of other people's lives. And these are highlights that are groomed to be placed on Facebook, not their day-to-day grind, getting from A to B just like you. And that's probably one of the greatest dangers of Facebook, is setting yourself up to always be lowering your status and thoughts on where you are and what you're doing. As far as strengths though, especially if you have a business that's fairly social, or if you in your profession need to be known, something like Facebook or LinkedIn is so useful. You're visible, it's easy to drop in now and then on people, and it's especially valuable that way. So I suppose the challenge is just to strike a balance, as with anything in life, and you can always put it down and come back to it too. It's not a huge deal that way.
Well, it looks as though we're ready to proceed. I was just puzzling what sort of a question I could ask Rochelle about the benefits of a new job, as I miss her so much in her previous job, but I'm not going to get the chance because we're ready to roll, but I'll be gunning for her sometime when I've got table topics. So I just need to ask Jim a question as our former area governor. Does the contest chair or the club president sign the certificates for the
Contest chair, I think, has been our practice in the
Okay,
past.
just wanted to be sure before I sign something I shouldn't. Thank you very much. Are there any disqualifications, Peggy?
No, both were qualified.
Both speakers qualified. Okay. Okay, we got that. We got that. I'm going down through this. We did that. We did that. I guess we get to announce. Both of these contestants are eligible to go on and represent our club in Miles City. And so it is my pleasure to tell the contestants and the club that my guitar playing friend has the second place award and a new team member. And so our former area governor, who has not competed for at least 2 years and already intends to go to Miles City, will probably represent our club Saturday. Thank you. And that being the case, we need someone to operate Jim's phone to do the next thing on the agenda, and that's take a picture of the winners in front of the back, and Peggy will do that. Okay, or would you like to be in the picture with them, or have me be, or just the two of them? Maybe I'll recreate the presentation and be in it and get them to bring up their certificates. Alan, can you grab Jim's too?
Yeah.
If it's right handy.
Well, let's see here. Isn't this about the same as yours? Oops. Get your finger right there. Okay.
Is there any way to get this higher? How have you done that?
I can hold it.
Well,
And stand behind it.
How's that?
Club president.
And club president.
Okay, I'll do that part. I'll do that.
Okay.
Now that I see the method to your madness. So let's get you guys to turn sort of towards the
If you
camera.
turn, you got yours, okay.
Yeah,
We both promised to turn right side up.
okay. And I'll go like I'm reaching to congratulate you. So it's this
Oh, okay, that other one.
Opposed.
So, 1, 2, 3.
She
Did
likes
it
it.
take?
She
Yeah,
likes it.
I heard 2 clicks.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you. Enjoyed your presentations. You're a blessing to the club as well as to the
Congratulations.
audience as well. Peggy, thank you. So I believe that concludes our meeting. We'll have officers meeting that first Thursday downtown, my office conference room. And then we'll have our regular meetings up here, second and fourth Thursdays of October. As you're kind of thinking about your calendar in advance, know that our tradition is in November and December because of those great holy days to go ahead and meet the second and thirds. And we're on the schedule up here for the second and thirds in November and December because no one has showed up for Toastmasters by mistake on Thanksgiving Day. And I think it turns out this year, maybe Christmas Day is actually on Thursday as well. So we'll see you in October. And remember, if you have not had the opportunity to give Alan your dues, they are due today as we start the new half year next month, October. Any other announcements, Jim?
Brian Logston, former district governor, did announce, I don't know if I remember saying this previously, he wants to visit our club sometime in October.
Okay.
And the purpose being to introduce us to the new curriculum. We've all been working with the CC manual and the various advanced manuals. A rewritten curriculum has been developed and that is being introduced and will somehow in the next several months be implemented. He's the lead man for that presentation.
Okay.
Wants to visit the club, bring that information directly to us.
Okay. Do you know if he wants the second or the fourth?
I don't know.
Okay.
The fourth is going to be difficult because that's the day I need to leave immediately for Missoula.
So you might want
Come to the
encourage him to
Toastmaster
come to
Club and leave for Missoula,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Within the half hour
So you might encourage him to come to,
earlier,
The
to the second meeting.
okay, yeah. So
It'll be a
see-
gas. He's
See if
quite a
he
character.
will. Yeah, he and I, unlike David's wisdom, because I do have a business that wants a Facebook presence, I've connected with him on Facebook, so he could Facebook message me if he wants.
Okay.
To let me know for the scheduling. Yes, Mike?
Pete, I wanted to know, the second club meeting at Toastmasters in November, I assume would be on the second Thursday. Now, how is that gonna, can you repeat that over again?
I'd be very glad to.
Yeah,
So the officers will meet as usual. The club meeting will be on the second Thursday of October and the third Thursday of October. Excuse me, of
Yeah, of
November, excuse
So
me,
it's
yeah.
second and fourth of October.
So second and fourth for October, right, second and third for November and December.
So November and December are gonna be pretty much the same
They will be the same.
format.
Yeah, so one more time, because I messed up. So October for regular meetings, second and fourth, November and December, second and third.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
You were a delight to spend time with each and every one of you. Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you too. You're a delightful. Yeah.
Take it up to these people and
can I recycle what you didn't use in the packet?
You can smile about that and not take it seriously.
That makes it easier, I don't have to print these things back out.
Today,
Anything you didn't use, you'd be willing to give up, unless you
Yep, yep.
have it, keep the book, or keep the planning guide in, you keep that. But either
How was it?
stuff is- Well.
Yeah.
We can make-
Yeah,
keep that.
a very good thing. What, got a question for you.
Okay.
well,
But does it tend to mean
I got
that
it.
you
I got my
you
garbage.
doing circles?
It could mean one of two things.
Well, have a nice day.
It's designed.
I gotta go down to my credits from payment of my hospital bill. So I got,
And so when you want
That
to.
was
takes about 1 o'clock, I
you
guess.
move forward. You want to turn
I must
it.
have a bite to eat before I go in there and haggle with them.
So it may.
Down at the kitchen.
Something I've done a couple times in
Yeah,
the
see
past.
the business office is down
If you
there.
have
for
that
GM.
clear-
But it makes for an easy package to work with.
Absolutely, it was very good.
Oh, yeah, I'll buy lunch if you
There's a
want.
whole bunch of extraneous stuff that you.
Oh, you have a ticket.
It's obvious that it.
Well,
Keep up a good head of steam.
actually, I planned on going right directly to the business office first.
Myself in situations
I
where
got all my
I'll
paperwork
let
here.
it turn the circle.
So let's
Oh,
think about, the paddling part.
but if I see you down there, I'll sit with you,
What do you?
if you'd like.
So there's
Uh,
kind of like three things.
pardon me?
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
To one side or the other, will do that.
I may not be too long in the business
Then
office.
the other thing would